Imagine carrying a glass filled to the very top with water. One wrong move, one distraction, and it spills. Now imagine that in that moment, with your eyes locked on that glass, all your worries disappear. No fear, no sadness, no anxiety, just peace. Marco was 24 years old. He had a job, a place to live, and people around him. But inside, he was broken. Every night, he lay in bed staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. His mind was like a storm that never stopped. Memories from the past haunted him. One day, Marco heard about a wise old man who lived far away in a quiet village surrounded by hills. He packed a small bag and traveled for hours, leaving the city behind. The roads became narrower, the air became cleaner, and finally, he reached the village. It was peaceful, almost like time had slowed down there. He asked the villagers where he could find the old man, and they pointed toward a small house at the edge of the village. When Marco arrived, he saw the old man sitting outside, calm and still, like a tree that had weathered many storms. His face was wrinkled, but his eyes were bright and full of warmth. Marco approached him nervously and explained everything. He told the old man about the chaos in his mind, the sleepless nights, the pain of the past, and the fear of the future. He spoke with desperation in his voice, hoping for an answer, for relief, for anything. The old man listened quietly. He did not interrupt. He did not judge. When Marco finished speaking, the old man smiled gently and said he would help him. But instead of giving advice or talking about complicated techniques, the old man did something unexpected. He stood up, went inside his house, and returned with a glass. He filled it with water, all the way to the top, until it was completely full, right to the very edge. He handed the glass to Marco and gave him a simple instruction: walk to the other end of the village and come back. But there was one condition: do not spill even a single drop of water. He felt confused. How would this help him? But he trusted the old man. He took the glass carefully in both hands, steadied himself, and began to walk. The road was not easy. It was a busy village path. People were walking, running, carrying goods. Shopkeepers were calling out to customers. Dogs were barking. Children were playing and laughing. There was noise everywhere. But Marco did not look at any of it. His eyes were fixed only on the glass. Every step he took was slow and careful. He watched the water, making sure it stayed perfectly still. If someone came too close, he adjusted his path. If a sound startled him, he paused, steadied the glass, and continued. Minute by minute, step by step, Marco walked through the entire village.
And before you continue with Marco's journey, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt the way Marco did, trapped in your own thoughts, unable to find peace? If this story is touching your heart, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to Motivren, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Finally, Marco reached the end of the village and turned back. The return journey was just as challenging, but he stayed focused. When he arrived back at the old man's house, he carefully placed the glass down on the table. Not a single drop had been spilled. Marco looked up at the old man, feeling proud of himself, but also still confused. What was the point of all this? The old man looked at him and asked a simple question. Did you see anything on the road? Did you hear the people, the shopkeepers, the dogs, the children? Marco thought for a moment and then shook his head. No, he admitted, I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focused on the glass. The old man's smile grew wider. And that, my son, is the secret. Marco's eyes widened. What do you mean? The old man explained. When you were carrying that glass, your mind was completely in the present moment. You were not thinking about your past. You were not worrying about your future. You were only focused on what was in front of you right now, in this very second. And in that state, tell me, did you feel any fear, any sadness, any confusion? Marco realized the truth immediately. No, I felt nothing, just calm, just focus. Exactly, the old man said. Your mind is like that glass. When it is too full of thoughts about yesterday and tomorrow, there is no space for peace. But when you learn to empty it, when you learn to live in the present moment, all that noise disappears. The peace you are looking for is not somewhere far away. It is already inside you. You just need to stop filling your mind with things that do not belong to this moment. Marco stood there in silence, letting the lesson sink deep into his heart. For the first time in months, he felt light. He felt free. He realized that his suffering was not caused by his past or his future. It was caused by his inability to let go and just be present. Now let me ask you, what would you do if you were Marco? Would you be able to focus only on the glass, or would your mind still wander? Drop your answer in the comments below. I really want to know your thoughts. Marco bowed deeply to the old man, his eyes filled with gratitude. He returned to his life, but he was no longer the same person. He had learned the most important lesson of all. Peace is not something you find. It is something you create by choosing to live fully in the present moment. So remember this, my friend. Your mind is powerful, but only when you learn to control it. Stop replaying the past. Stop fearing the future. Focus on today. Focus on this moment, because this moment is all you truly have. Empty your mind, live in the present, and watch how your life transforms. Thank you for watching Motivren. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this message today. See you in the next one.